Welcome, everyone. My name's Andy Eppler. We're broadcasting live from Longmont Public Media with your election results show. Thank you very much. Oh my God, I can feel you clapping at home. I gotta tell you, I can feel that all the way from the studio here in beautiful Longmont, Colorado. Put your hands together for my friend Pierre. He's gonna be playing the drums for us. He's gonna like let you know when I've made a joke in case it's not real clear, you know? It goes like this. I'll be like, Brian Bagley's so tall, he thought he had dandruff, but it turned out to be frozen hikers that didn't make it to the summit. That's how you do the jokes. So just letting you know. Today, we're gonna be looking at the results from the local election. Now, I don't know if you are a voter yourself. No shame from me. We don't shame people about voting, do we?
No.
No. It's perfectly fine if you're disenfranchised. That makes sense to me. We have a yellow light here. I'm not sure if that means be careful with language or...
Careful with the line.
And now we're back to blue. Are we still rolling? Yeah. Excellent. Perfect. I was taught to read a color code recently before this show. And being dyslexic and ADD, I've forgotten what the colors mean. They're kind of tricksy, right? Blue and orange and green. Green definitely means go, but blue means like you're joking. Here in Longmont, Colorado, we have 102,000 people in our population. I think that's correct. It's weird to have moved here a bunch of years ago in 2009 and watch it grow so quickly. It's also a joy. So thank you for tuning in. We have election coverage for you today. Golly, there's been some voting that's been going on in town. Now, we don't really know if this is all the votes or how many are going to total come in, right? Probably a lot, one would assume. But right now, I can give you the results that we currently have. Is that what we want? They're over here on this screen. You can read them for yourself if you're a reader, but I'll read it to you, of course. We got 3 candidates for mayor. We got Ethan Augreen, Joan Peck, and Terry Goon. Right now, Joan Peck is in the lead. Now, whatever. People will be in the lead, and things will go back and forth a lot while we sit here, even just in the hour that we're going to be broadcasting. So don't get too excited about if your candidate doesn't have enough votes yet or whatever. This is all sort of randomly going to add up to whatever our final result is. So fucking relax. Maybe like a relaxing beat, just to sort of help everyone just take it easy. Because honestly, local politics is very important. It's some of the most important things we're doing in America. I don't know if you know about national level politics. One word that comes to mind is uber fucked. So that's a little depressing. But on the local level, your vote really does make a difference. Thank you. That's Pierre. Isn't he fabulous? Didn't he feel more relaxed with the little beat? So right now, Joan Peck's out in the lead. We also got city council member at large, Ward 1 and Ward 2, all up for grabs. Consensual grabs? Friendly grabs? Like, more like, like a, not like an aggressive BDSM level powerful thing, just like, gifting what's been handed to you by the community. Sean McCoy, friend of the show, not for nothing. Sean McCoy came on our last election special. He was great. He came on the special and then was elected immediately.
Right.
So not for nothing, he was elected immediately. Sean McCoy, and then we got Steve Alschuler. And then we got Becky Venturella, maybe. Golly, I don't know how to pronounce everybody's name in the candidates. We got Ward 1 also. We got Nia Wasnick. We got Diane Christ, and we got Harrison Earl. I met Harrison Earl. Pierre and I were doing our show, Boulder County Tonight, just the other night at the Dickens Opera House.
Was he there?
Remember the guy that we interviewed, that nice
right,
guy? He was
yes.
like, "Yeah, hi, it's me. I'm just nice. And I just like wear this comfortable sweater and like that seems so huggable." That was the guy. He's in the race. We know Sean as well, so like we're not trying to, push for any particular candidates. We're just friendly with the entire community. In Ward 3, you got Ron Gallegos, who's run for candidate, he's run for city council before. Gary Hodges, who we've met, of course. She came on Boulder County Tonight. Last time she was in office here. I think she wasn't running at the time, but she was great. Gary Hodges and Susie Hidalgo Faring, that's what I mean. But Gary came on last time. Remember Gary Hodges?
I do.
The bald dude? He was so nice. He came on our little show. Ron, Gary, Susie, and then we got Spencer Adams, who I don't know. But he seems nice, right?
It's a good name.
It's a nice name. He seems nice. I'm sure he's harmless. So we're whatever in favor of all these people. Before we talk any more about like who's getting elected and the race, blah blah, the most important thing to remember is that all of these people are offering to do a job that fucking sucks. This is a public service. It is not fun to be in politics, especially at the local level. It can be a real pain in the fucking dick, and like it don't pay good, takes a bunch of your time. As soon as you get elected, half the public probably hates you or whatever because of some party affiliation thing. They eat up all your time. Half the population doesn't like you. Then, of course, like the half that does like you wants you to be like radicalized with the things that they voted for. So they may be let down as well. By the end, you have like sort of this tiny proportion of the community that like actually was your friend the whole way through. Everybody else at the end will just pretend to have been your friend the whole time. It's a fucking tricky game. Nobody should really want this job. And so like when people run for Senate, in Washington or whatever, that's obviously a rigged thing. That's obviously like people in it for a lot of the wrong reasons. I think everybody agrees. At the local level, that really is not true. And there's not enough money in it, there's not enough power in it for real problematic people to want the gig. So when we talk about different candidates or whatever, talk about different ideas, just remember that basically everybody's in it, I think, for the right reasons. I've never really run into a local candidate, especially up here, that I thought was in it for the wrong reasons. Beyond the candidates, we've got ballot issues. Now, I knew I'd take this off immediately. I'm just a sweaty bitch, and it's going to be this way. If you're really good, I'll keep losing layers. We've got ballot issues. Now, we'll talk more in depth about what the ballot issues were and, what they maybe meant for us, but they're all trending against right now. Everybody seems to not want that at this point. Only 29% of the people are voting in favor of 3C. Only 28% are voting for 3D. And 3D is the coolest way to watch a movie. So it's weird to see people voting against it. Looks like 26% are voting in favor of 3E. So those look like they're fucked, basically, on arrival. We'll talk more about those later. But first, if we like, we actually have a guest that we can turn to. We'll come back to covering this stuff, but we've got a while to work on this, and we can really take our time. Thank you to the people that are in our studio audience today. Let's hear a little. See that you're there. Oh my God! Not you, Pierre. Thank you. He's so helpful. Not right now. Just but. Right now, I'd love to call up my good friend, Mr. Aaron Rodriguez, Councilman Rodriguez. Please come join us. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you, brother?
Good to see you. Good to see
Yeah.
you. So, oh my God, if you'll chill
chairs.
that water, I'll pour you some of this wine.
Oh, that's not water, but yeah.
Oh, my man. Well, cheers. Happy Election Day.
Happy Election Day. Hope everybody voted.
I
Or
hope
varded.
that-
I like to say I varded.
The past tense of to vote could be to have varted.
Varded, yes.
You know what? I think that's great. I got no notes.
Well,
against that.
especially if you don't like who you're voting for, it's better to say I varded for them.
That's how I felt when I voted for Clinton. Once upon a time, I had to choose, a terrible person or a psychopath, and I chose terrible person. And I'll always regret it.
Indeed.
Yeah. But today's election day. Now, I just want to make just a note from the show. I don't require that you vote. Matter of fact, if you have a friend group and your friend group tells you that you are, let's say, an asshole, I just want you to know that you're not required to vote, as far as I'm concerned. If you ask around your friend group, hey, am I, whatever, an asshole? And if your friends are like, yeah, kind of, just, I know that you don't need to, whatever.
You just tell them
worry about it.
tomorrow's when you vote.
Yeah. Yeah, make a makeup vote, you know.
No, you got till Wednesday.
Oh, well, you've got till Wednesday.
You got till Wednesday. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Now, Aaron, you're not having to run for your seat.
Correct.
That must feel nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's it like to do an election? Is it, I mean, you're getting grilled by local news affiliates, or is it more like you wish you were getting attention?
Well, Longmont's so, important in the greater Front Range scene that, of course, I'm always being asked. No, that's not the case.
I thought we were kidding. Okay.
Definitely not the case. I don't, I watch a lot of local news. I actually prefer Parente in the mornings on channel whatever that he's on. I'm not going to blast him because, but I like Parente. I've dealt with him because my band played on that station at 6 o'clock in the morning one time. And I thought he was a very interesting person. And I will tell you that outside of the explicit Denver metro region, even though Longmont's considered that,
Are we really?
yes, we're considered part of the Metroplex.
We're 40 minutes from it.
I know this, and this is a big problem with our public transportation system, for instance.
Here's a question.
Okay, there we go.
I know. I
There
got
we go.
triggered. It's not on the ballot this time, but do you remember that time that we spent all this money to build a train? This train company maybe was going to build a train from here to Denver, light rail. And then
Sure.
we got all involved with the contract and paid them money and stuff. And then as it turned out, they just ran a train on us as a community.
Well, that's where the concept of being railroaded came from, right?
Right, right. Where are we with that? Is there anything to be said about that?
So, Mayor Peck, who is running for re-election,
The goodly Mayor Peck.
that is one of her very large campaign issues, if anybody's been paying attention to those. And some people, one of her opponents, for instance, has called her Trainwreck Peck because of her focus
It does
on bringing
rhyme.
the train. Yes, it does. It does.
Okay.
It sounds a little bit like some national politics that I don't want to get into, but
Fair enough. But rhyming's nice.
I know. I love alliteration too. But
We love alliteration. Pick Peck, that's what I'd be putting on the sign.
pick back.
You know.
No,
But
I don't know. That's questionable.
I'm the worst. So she's in favor of the train or not in favor of
Yes,
the train?
absolutely. She's been fighting for the train. And I believe it was 2004, which would have been my junior year in college. So I was not unfortunately here to have a vote in that.
No, I feel you. That was
So that's
my-
how
my
long we've
senior-
been paying. Yes, so that's how long we've been paying. And there are other options now, which what she is proposing now is related to a different proposition called the North something passenger rail, Northwestern passenger rail, something along those
It's
lines.
been so fucking long, it might as well be called the hoverboard
It's
initiative.
a who gives a shit because, we got other things to deal with. But
I really wish that train came through. I don't mean to get off topic or whatever.
please,
but
please, believe you me, if I could get on a train and go down to Denver and watch some comedy or some live music, I am 2 thumbs up there.
it just seems like
2 this way and then 2 down to Denver.
4 thumbs total.
That's like, yeah, if I had more thumbs, that's where they'd go.
Listen, I respect that note. I appreciate that. How have you been? I haven't seen you in a minute.
Oh, just living the life of an unemployed man. So,
Relatable. I'm in the arts. That we call it being in the arts.
yeah. being in
It's
the
like
arts.
being unemployed, but every once in a while you draw a picture.
Yeah, sending in a lot of inquiries and drinking heavily. That's kind of how it goes.
That is how it goes. My inquiries
Because
are to the
the
universe.
real estate business, which is what I have a license in, right?
Oh, that's right. Of course.
Yeah, is terrible right now. So, not
Yeah.
to cue you up any questions about housing or anything.
Oh, I know. I like to talk about housing in Longmont. Here's a
Housing
thought.
generally,
Yeah, well, that's
not
right.
just Longmont. It's
No,
everywhere.
It is everywhere. That's right. Yeah, I feel like these ballot initiatives, they were
Yes.
all tax increases, and it added up to $40,600,000
Sure.
toward whatever swing sets or whatever the fuck. Good for them, but with all the things that we've been learning with housing and whatever, just an affordable community, it seems strange to spend $40 million on anything else. I don't know. I've never run city government, so I don't know what the priorities are like.
Understandable.
Mike, here's a question. How did you feel about these ballot initiatives? Everyone seems against them.
So there's 2 pressures there on a city council, okay? Is that, yes, we, as a city council, are very understanding of what the economic environment is, but we're also very understanding of what the public environment is. And the public environment for the last, at least as long as I've been on, which is 6 years now, has said that we want expanded library services, if not another annex, but at least fund us to a certain level. We've heard from the folks that are really into the recreation scene that we're overburdened. And then we also have facilities currently that are aging out of life. It's not financially feasible to continue them without a complete, let's say, demolishment and rebuild, which is a very expensive proposition. And then as well as the arts and entertainment proposition that we see. Having been to music school, being a touring musician, very sympathetic to what they're saying. And technically speaking, I think that would be the easiest one to vote for because they're already talking and they're promising funding up to 35 million, I believe.
And at least when they finish that project, it's a
you-
source of tax money.
Exactly. Much more so than a drain on tax money, which is what you could say for a library or rec centers.
Yeah.
With the proposition that they have forward with the arts and entertainment building or concept, that's likely to be actually a revenue driver than a drain.
But they
on
don't know where it's
resources.
going to be yet, right? The sugar mill maybe wants it over there.
I think generally speaking, you would see it, whether it's at the sugar mill or a little bit closer to Main Street, it's still the same proposition of where it would go between the steam area and the sugar mill area. And so the steam area is close to Main Street, the sugar mill areas, just a little, or sugar factory. We get a lot of complaints about how we talk about the sugar mill, sugar factory, is just a little bit to the east. And so that's why they've tried to group them together as an idea. So it's just getting across Martin Street is the delineation line.
Oh, I see. Okay. I
Yeah.
feel like as
You know,
far
'cause
as
Martin has all those terrible roundabouts that people hate so much. And, you know, I have personally been in an accident in a roundabout. It was in Australia, though.
oh yeah, well, Jesus.
Well, you know, there's a very pretty lady sitting next to the taxi driver, and he was checking her out a little bit, and boom, we got T-boned.
I
It was
relate to
fun.
everyone in the story.
Yeah, I know you do.
It feels like in Australia they go.
You're Randy Andy, that's how it goes.
It feels like in Australia they have roundabouts. In Canada they have roundabouts.
Sounds about right.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I'll never be a father, so I have to use the jokes as they come to me. All right. Well, I don't know. This election is just barely getting underway. These numbers are barely coming through now.
I know, and you've asked me nothing about candidates.
Do you want to be asked about candidates?
I'm happy to divulge.
Yeah, of course, because now it's over, right? So here
Well,
we
for
are
me.
with our yeah, because other candidates are still at home eating chicken wings, wondering how it's going to go and shit. It's gonna be fine.
Your chicken wings will be old by the time you actually know. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. But we do. I think it's 8 p.m. in Longmont, Colorado. We're the only ones talking about this news right now. I think we're the first ones with the. I don't know if the Times Cause published it. I don't think the Boulder Weekly's published it. How about that?
Highly unlikely. Highly
We'll see.
unlikely.
We'll see. So we got our beloved, goodly, honorable Mayor Joan Peck, who wants to hold her position as mayor, and then there's Ethan Augreen and Terry Goon running against her.
Well, you know, sometimes they say that when you run for office, it's dependent upon your name. I think Terry Goon's a terrible name for. Well, I mean, some people might like to strong arm people, but
I feel like it's also Halloween season, and like ghouls and stuff are in fashion. So we'll see. I don't know Terry.
she's a nice woman.
She seems like, yeah.
I've worked with her. So
I was reading her opinion. She did an interview with the Longmont Chamber of Commerce, and in that she was basically saying like, I don't think the government should basically do anything, and so like that's kind of where most of her opinions are coming from.
oh, I see.
That's my take. That's whatever. That's
I see your note.
this one journalist's take. Yeah. Have more
Yeah, I
guests
see your
coming.
note. That's interesting in this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that she's a bit one note, but for many people, that would be very beneficial to them in their ideology and what they think of how government should be run. So, and I feel very much that Terry is somebody I could work with in
I'm sure you
the
could.
circumstance.
But that's because you're such a reasonable character. You could work with probably most people. You
Well,
know?
so you would think, but I always like to live by the immortal words of Andrew W.K., which is party, party, party. So,
Well, you make an excellent point, Aaron, as always. I really. All right. Well, I think like we'll see these numbers keep growing or whatever. Now, Sean McCoy just got on council last time around, right?
for the second time, yes.
For the second time. I don't know. He seemed like a nice fella. He had a nice. When he came on this show, he looked nice. Do you remember him that day?
Oh, yes, he tries to dress very natty.
I
if you
like
will.
that shit. What's that mean? Natty though.
Natty,
Like sexy, like
stylish.
stylish. I like
It's
it.
an old word for stylish, I think.
Okay. Okay. Well, I suppose.
Yeah, I like to be a little, retro sometimes,
A classic character yourself.
allegedly.
As you go forward with, you'll have new people, possibly a new mayor. Who knows? With these numbers are still growing and changing. What do you hope council prioritizes for Longmont? Because obviously these ballot initiatives aren't tickling anybody's fucking taint.
I'm not surprised. I've been a staunch housing advocate. continually growing the housing stock, because as you'll hear from other people, that it's economics is supply and demand. I mean, it's a very simple concept to grasp, in the sense that there's quite a bit of demand for housing in this area, and
As there should be. It's a beautiful place.
we are dreadfully behind in the supply. And so we'll continue to push for housing.
I'm glad you fucking said that. I think that's just as history is going, that is the right answer. People need homes. And we'd
Well-
like to live here, you know?
Well, I would hope people like to live here, because I enjoy living here from birth till I graduated high school, and then I went out of state, and I loved it so much I came back.
My man here. Put your hands together for this nice man. He's been serving you in this shitty job we've been talking about. Thank
Yes.
you for coming in. I appreciate you
Thank
very
you, Randy
much.
Andy.
Well, he seemed nice, didn't he?
Very nice.
That's his thing. He's nice, you know? And smart. Ugh. You know, it's like, be talented or smart or nice, but don't be all three. Just fucking pick, one. That's what I'm doing. I'm like charming, but I'm an asshole. It's like, it's called balance. Aaron doesn't get it. Let's walk through the ballot issues very quickly. We haven't really talked about it, and now we've been doing this show for about a half hour. Oh, it goes quick, you know? We need to keep an eye on the things here. Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna work on doing two things at once. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have my old friend out to watch the numbers. Put your hands together for my friend, Jack. When we started working with public television years ago, we realized that, you get a puppet, like Mr. Rogers and shit. So if you could watch the numbers, I will talk about the election things here. Thank you, Jack. Pierre, how about a little talking about the initiative's groove, like a proposition groove. Excellent. And we just got a perfectly working system now. So comfortable. We had ballot issue 3C. It's worth $7,400,000. And it's to build a new branch library. Thank you, Pierre. Now, I don't know if you're very hip to the library. Honestly, could you just... The library, you could have voted today, and it looks like you're not, but you could have voted to spend $7 million. And how's it going? Okay, fine. To build a new branch library. I don't think that's wise for Longmont. What do I know? I'm an idiot. Look, Jesus Christ, look at the screen and realize who's talking to you. Don't agree that hard. A new branch library. I don't know if you've heard of the library. It's, it's the place where they printed the fucking internet. I'm just not sure we need it. Another place where we've printed sections of the internet. So we should maybe look away from that. It looks like Longmont thinks that. There's also ballot issue 3D, not that one. It's a tax increase, of course, of $12,500,000 for an arts and entertainment center. I don't know about this because it seems like one of the great benefits of Longmont is that the arts and entertainment is spread out through venues in the community where more people make money from it. I think if we had, arts and entertainment center, what does that mean? Symphony performances? I like the symphony. We love the guys over there. Do they need a building to themselves? Who's going to be playing at this thing? Who's going to be doing it? It's just in thought. I don't know. Do we need it? It seems like with housing in such a bad place in Longmont, it seems silly to spend $12 million on that shit. There's also ballot issue 3E. They all have threes in them. And this is worth $20 fucking million and $700,000. Can you believe these numbers? That's for recreation centers. Recreation centers. That's like a park. They're talking about doing it at Dry Creek Community Park. Now, I will say, we may need more recreation centers. I was in Longmont just the other day, and I was driving around at Centennial Park, and there were 50 children in line to have one swing on the swing. It was really embarrassing. There were so many children wishing that they could swing on the swing. 50 children deep in the line. And they would take turns, like, 'cause they were good children, they're Longmont children. And each kid got 3 swings. You know?
That's not enough swing.
It's not enough swings. I was at Roosevelt Park the other day, and they've changed it to a petunia garden. Easier to maintain, I guess. Takes less water. I saw that the jungle gym only had 1 monkey bar. You know, what the fuck are we talking about? A recreation center. Seems silly. Longmont is in Colorado. Now, I don't fucking know if you've heard about Colorado, but it's basically famous for, get this, outdoor, naturally occurring recreation. So why do we need 20 million motherfucking dollars when it's like, go hiking, go to a gym. Jesus Christ, what are you looking for, I want to go swimming in the wintertime. We have that. Relax. I don't know, $20 million? Seems too much. Have the numbers changed at all? Thank you. That's a total proposed tax increase of $40,600,000. And I just want you to remember, when you hear that number, what we were talking about in this election is $40 million, 0% of it going to actually solving life problems for anyone in the community. They were all extras. That seems strange. Especially fucking printing the internet. We have the newspaper, you know what I mean? They print the internet, They do a great job printing the internet. There are a bunch of like bird cages that are very grateful, you know what I mean? No, I'm kidding. We love the newspaper, they're fine. So those are our ballot initiatives. That's what you were choosing between. And how did we do, Jackie? Perfect. Looks like it's no on all those. That's going to keep going. All right, excellent. Well, I think we might have another guest to deal with. Would you fuck off? Perfect. Also, there was a judge retention question. Now, for me, whenever they ask me if we want to keep a judge, it's basically no every time. Spin the wheel. You never know. Just get a new judge. I'm sure this person's name is Robert J. Frick, which is what we used to say in Christian school when we couldn't say fuck, Robert J. Frick. I'm sure the Honorable Judge Frick's a great character, but I'm just all about that fresh judge as often as possible. We bless Judge Frick. Now, if I can, I'd like to call another guest. Is Ethan still here?
Still there.
Ethan Allgreen, who's running for mayor. We're going to talk about that. Ethan, nice to see you. Well, join us, won't you? Did you see the professional showbiz monkey from earlier?
No, I didn't.
Maybe I'll introduce you if you seem really awesome.
I'd like to elect it for mayor.
So, Ethan, you're running for mayor today.
I am. Well, I'm not running anymore because the poll's closed.
Well, but the numbers are still coming in, so we'll see what happened here. You never know. Let's talk about your vision for Longmont, because win or lose, we'd love to hear what you think would be helpful for our community. And also, put your hands together for this person who's running for this job. Thank you for your service. Why do you want to fucking do this shitty job?
Well, I got into lots of debt, getting a master's degree in environmental leadership, so I figure I might as well put that to use and do something beneficial for the community. I think that the priorities are misguided when it comes to environmentalism, and there's not a lot of serious forethought and strategy going into what this is doing in terms of the renewable energy transition, or I don't know if you're aware, but we're clear cutting thousands of acres of trees up in the headwaters of Button Rock Preserve. That's a bad idea.
Up at Button Rock?
Yeah,
That's one of the pretty places.
it is, yeah.
And we're cutting down trees?
Cutting down trees
Because
there.
fuck us, we're assholes.
Because
Like-
trees can burn, so you
Uh-huh.
want to prevent fires, so might as well just cut down all the trees. But the problem is that that increases the risk of floods.
Of course.
So, kind of need a balance where we're not cutting down all the trees, but
Wait.
we're also preventing fires.
We have like soil erosion problems when we start losing our trees,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, sedimentation, the water quality.
I have an associate's degree in dumbassery, so I can't say I understand the depth that you must be looking at this problem, but even I can see it's an important issue. What do you think Longmont as a city could possibly do about that? Like, we can't stop trees being cut down. Is there something in Longmont that could be sustainably more helpful?
Planting trees is better than cutting them down.
Hell yeah, we like
We only
planting trees.
planted 236 trees last year, and this year we've cut down thousands. I don't know how many we planted, but it's not anywhere near close to the number that we've cut down. And there's a great website, treeequityscore.org.
Tree
You
equity
can
score.
analyze the tree canopy in different neighborhoods. And we have a big disparity in Longmont. There are some neighborhoods that have lots of trees, and some neighborhoods don't have any trees at all. So we could address that inequity by planting more trees in neighborhoods that don't have them, and also address the climate crisis. Because trees are great for air quality, they absorb carbon.
Trees and bees, right? That's kind of the thing.
Bees are good too, yeah. We have 4,000 acres of open space land and about 1,500 acres of agriculture. And that all could be regenerative agriculture, growing crops and hemp in ways that are beneficial for the soil instead of GMO, corn and alfalfa like we're doing now.
Did you, you must have an opinion, I suppose, on these ballot issues. You agree with all my comedy bits from earlier, obviously. But what do you think about that stuff?
Well, I expected them to be voted down because people don't want to pay more taxes.
Yeah, right.
I voted for the library because I like books.
I also like books. I'm not moving out of hatred for books. You know, we're pro book, but Jesus Christ, have you seen the internet? You know what I mean? It's got the books. It's got the books.
For sure.
Yeah.
Twitter's a great placement for books, in my opinion.
And where, like, if they were going to do a library, another branch library, where would you want that to be, I guess?
I think the most frequent use of libraries these days are homeless people. So
Mhm.
probably up in North Longmont around 21st and Main would be a good place because lots of homeless seem to congregate up there.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. And the library is a great resource for, like, getting on the internet and be able to use a computer, be able to use a printer or whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, I think
Apply for jobs.
Longmont could operate a fucking Kinko's for a lot cheaper than this. You know, this I think was, I don't know, Jesus Christ, it was $7 million. But I do agree that I was kidding when I, of course, shit on the library. I don't mean to shit on them, but whatever, fuck 'em.
My parents don't live in Longmont, but when they come, they visit the library often, so.
Yeah, and there's they have a library app too. They have ebooks all over the place. It just seems like we have such a big, expansive library. You
That
know.
was my issue because I thought we should support the current library instead of building a new one. But there was part of this where they did direct funding to the existing libraries. That's the reason why I voted for it. But I think the most predictable outcome in Colorado politics overall is that voters reject bad ballot measures, and then they reelect the same politicians who put those bad ballot measures on the ballot.
That's an interesting note.
I'll be surprised if anything different happens tonight, but I think that's what we'll see.
If you could have like a message that you could send to Longmont voters, whether or not you get this particular job or whatever, we love that you want to help. And so if you had anything that you could tell the general public, just in general, would you have any maybe notes? What should they be looking for from their city council?
I think they should be looking for a diversity of thought and new ideas. There's kind of a stagnation of ideas, it seems, in city council and in the mayor's office. And that's part of why these bad ballot measures got placed on the ballot, because they're just not creative thinking and not really enough strategy behind the policies that are moving forward in the city overall.
I know. Well, I appreciate that opinion, and that you've got to think that there's some place that you can
So
fix.
I'm a
if
bit
you're getting it.
short-sighted, and I can't see the numbers, but are there any surprises in who's winning, or are any incumbents losing?
No incumbents right now are losing.
How about Ward 1?
Ward 1 is, right now it's going to Diane Christ with 44% of the votes that have been counted.
Awesome.
Yeah, which is, whatever, 44 is a nice number to have at this stage in the game. You know what I mean? The other candidates have 27 and 27. Twinsies!
She's my friend. I voted for her, so.
Yeah, I
Congratulations,
mean,
Diane.
I don't think we have any crazy motherfuckers or anything running. We don't have any like terrible people running for office. And if we did, I swear we would say so.
I've said so.
I haven't met anybody that's running that seemed terrible. Of course, I haven't met some of these people, I guess. But thank you so much for coming around on our show. I really appreciate your time.
Yeah. Good to hear.
And good luck in your election. And then if we don't get the job this time, please come around and run again if you like. We really appreciate your willingness to serve.
Thank you for it.
Thank you. Put your hands together for this nice character. Now, we've only got like 20 minutes left in this show, and I know what you're thinking. Who else is going to come by and be interviewed? I was wondering the same thing myself. Let me get a quick refresh on these numbers. That's what we're actually supposed to be doing. I just like talking to people. They're so nice. Let's talk about these ballot issues real quick. Do you want to show this screen? City of Longmont ballot issue 3C. That's the library. Longmont says 70% of the vote is saying, no, we will not print the internet. City of Longmont ballot issue 3D. Now that's the Arts and Entertainment Center. 71% of the votes are saying, no, we are currently sufficiently entertained. City of Longmont ballot issue 3E, that is the recreation centers. Remember all those sad children that oh my God, they were just wanted to go one time on the swing, once down the slide, you gotta wait all day. 73% of Longmont saying, fuck those kids. You know, let them wait in line to play on the one monkey bar we could afford to give them. And they should be happy with it. When I was a kid, they just sent us out to jump into vans with candy in it. It was the 90s. We didn't have any monkey bars or... and as far as the local elections are concerned, for mayor, that was Ethan Augreen that we just met. What a delightful character that guy was. Holding 14% of the vote right now. That's a lot of votes. Here's a quick note for you at home. How many motherfuckers would say that you should run the city? How many people in general are going to be like, this guy or this person, they should definitely be at the wheel of power? 0, right? 15 max, okay, depending on meds. These people are getting at least thousands of votes, okay? So just so you know, they're doing better than you'd do, okay? Can you imagine that if my name was on this, it'd be like negative numbers, you know what I mean? As it should. I have no right to be at the wheel of power on any level. Jesus Christ. But the monkey puppet, however, could really make a difference for this town. More beep. That would be the buttons. Maybe we'll run an election next time for the monkey. We'll see. So it looks like Joan Peck is holding 57% of the vote, and then Terry Goon, who we haven't gotten to meet yet, has 28% of the votes. She's got 3,000 votes. Thousands of people deciding you should run the city is really an impressive thing for anybody. Sean McCoy's running. He's going to be city council member at large if these numbers don't change, but they're not nearly as far off as some of these others. Sean McCoy's got 47% of the vote. Steve Altshuler. Stephen Altshuler. It's a cool name. I like these people. They're great names. 4,000 people at this point think that he should be on city council. That's 30% of the vote. 4,000 people. It's so many people. And then Becca Venturella, she's got 2,800 votes, 21% of what's counted so far. Ward 1, Nia Wasnick holding 27% of the vote. Diane Christ is in the lead with 44%. Harrison Earl, who we met the other night, who seemed like a delight, He's like the kind of guy that you would trust with your car keys. You know what I mean? Like, or to give you a ride home if you were drunk. He seems like a huggable character. I don't know. Seemed very nice. Harrison Earl's got 27% of the vote currently. Ron Gallegos, who's tried to serve this community a bunch of times. I think twice maybe before, but at least once. Nice fella, I met him, nice guy. 18% of the vote right now. Gary Hodges is holding 37% of the vote. And then Susie Hidalgo Faring, who we have had on the show before, delight. She's got 38% of the vote. That's the closest race right now between Hodges and Faring. And then Spencer Adams is also on the list with 5% of the vote. That sounds like my kind of guy. You know what I mean? But so far, we haven't had that many votes. Total votes for mayor is only 13,000. I expect that'll grow a bit. Remember, if you're an asshole, you don't have to vote. It's not required of you. Now, if we can, one last interview, I think we have time for, don't you think? Yeah, could you maybe give us a little one last interview beat? Put your hands together for Pierre over there in the corner. Now, we've had city council people on the show. We've had candidates on the show. Who we haven't had so far is Mayor Joan Peck herself. Delightful character. If things don't change, we're likely to see her be the mayor again for another term. And you can find great interviews with all these people on the Longmont Chamber of Commerce website. They gave them like a questionnaire, and each candidate gave back pretty involved answers. You probably should have checked it before now. Fuck you, whatever. But definitely check it at some point. Now, I reached out to a bunch of these people to see if they'd like to come on the show. And I'm afraid Mayor Peck is unavailable. Unavailable to come on the show. So, but she did say that she would be here in spirit, which I think is sweet. So, since she'll be here in spirit, and because we have time for one more interview, we'll see if we can put together some kind of, with the Ouija board, and we'll see if we can get Joan Peck to join us in spirit. Yeah, don't worry, she's alive. She's not like a ghost or anything. We're just gonna put very gentle. Now, have you ever used one of these Ouija boards?
No, I'm afraid to.
Afraid to?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
But never tried to summon a living person, one assumes.
No, I haven't tried that.
Less dangerous, I think, one assumes. So don't worry, you at home, you're in no danger. No. Okay, so here we are. We're gonna interview Joan Peck, who is a delight, a great character, and a big fan of the show, as I understand. Spirit of Joan Peck, we hereby invite you to speak to us through this Ouija board. Since this is the way that you were able to show up today, thank you very much for being here in spirit. And if you are here, please let us know through the Ouija board. Just let us know. Just don't move it. Don't be an asshole. Just relax and just let the thing. Oh my God! Did you do that? You didn't do it. I felt something. No, don't do it. Okay, just relax. Joan Peck, if you're here now on the show with us at Longmont Public Media, your beloved home for local news entertainment. Please let us know if you're here or not. Oh my God! Did you feel that? Okay. Oh, yes. It says yes. Okay. We're in business. Okay. Mayor Peck, thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Oh my God! It's moving. A. N. man. You know, Mayor Peck, if you could speed up the spelling just for the sake of the show. Oh, Andy Eppler, thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm a big fan of the show and of Longmont Public Media in general. Thank you so much for having me. Wow! Amazing. Isn't this amazing? Joan, my God, thank you. Miss Peck, Mayor Peck, thank you for joining us. Oh my God, thank you for that nice note about our show. Do you have any notes on the ballot initiatives? Oh my God, it's so creepy. Doesn't it feel weird? Yes, she does have notes. Oh my God, okay, great. Are you willing, let me ask you this, are you willing to go ahead and call the results for your election? Here we are with some percentage of the votes in, about 13,000. Are you willing to just declare yourself the victor? Oh, it's so creepy. I've never used one of these before. No. Oh, that's kind of her. She's right, of course. The election's not over. I know. All right. Well, listen, Mayor Peck. What is your big, most important issue, of course, for Longmont? Oh my God, she's spelling of a storm. She says, thank you so much for the opportunity to come on the show. I know that you're not trying to trick me into anything. You're actually just a person trying to give me a space to talk for a minute on the show. And I appreciate the opportunity, as it turns out. And thank you for always saying nice things about my adorable sweaters. Wow! We do say nice things about her adorable sweaters. She has more sweaters than anybody I know. Mayor Peck, if you get reelected, what's going to be your number one thing you're going to be working on? Oh, Jesus! Oh, she says that the ballot initiatives seem like too much money to be spending, and if we're going to spend that kind of money, we should spend it on something like Longmont Public Media, which actually provides a benefit to local communities that are disenfranchised in Longmont and can't necessarily afford their own camera equipment, but deserve to make their visual art and expressive projects, even if they can't afford to own their own equipment. Wow, I really agree with that. And I didn't know if we would get along. Remember when, at one point, Tim Waters came on the show, and we weren't sure if Tim and I were going to get along at first, right? Because he's terrifying. He looks like a 7-foot tall middle finger. He's an intimidating guy. But once we got to know him, he's actually a sweetheart, and he was a school principal. So we had to decide what that meant for us. You know what I mean? I suspect it'll be that way for Joan and I as well. Joan, thank you for coming on the show. How did you like working with Tim? Just for the one. Yeah, that was fine. Oh, great. Yeah, he was fine. Great. He seemed very nice. Thank you very much also for writing in on the last episode with a beautiful note. Oh my God. Oh, my darling Andy. I can't believe it's been so long since we've gotten to chat. I really do appreciate the work that you do and how much you try and help our local politicians get some attention from the general public. Oh, Joan. Honestly, knock it off. You're going to make me blush. Thank you for letting us summon you, Joan Peck, Mayor Joan Peck, Honorable Goodly Mayor Joan Peck. And thank you very much for joining us in spirit. Have you got any last words for the show or anything? She says, Pierre is my favorite drummer in town. He can really lay down the beats. Oh my God. Pierre, I think the mayor's maybe sort of into you. No, don't make it like that. I'm not trying to make it weird. Oh, I'm a taken person not looking for a new partner, but if I were, I've noticed that Pierre knows how to do some real thump whacking. That's disgusting. I'm sorry, Pierre. Joan, please dial it back. Thank you for coming on our show, and we hope to see you in person soon, Mayor Peck, because I'm sure that we'll do an event here together at Longmont Public Media, your favorite local resource. Longmont Public Media is the greatest resource Longmont is offering at the moment. And whatever millions we have to spend, fuck an ice rink. And also, fuck the motherfuckers trying to build a place where we're going to print the internet again. Maybe we should spend it on something that actually benefits disenfranchised community. 666 devil. Huh. We may be losing the mayor. Okay, Mayor Peck, if you can still hear me. 666 devil. Jesus, okay. Mayor Peck, thank you for coming on. If you're still there, we really appreciated it. Thank you very much. Kill, burn. Okay, I think we've got something else now. We're going to go ahead and knock it off. Thank you very much. Here's some ending the Ouija board music. Thank you very much. We can go ahead and stop it. Wait, we can go ahead and stop it. Is everybody okay? That was okay, right?
Yeah, I feel okay.
Okay. We didn't harass her in person. We interviewed her spirit. And I think she came off nice. She's a good mayor, I guess. People are voting for her, but people are voting for everyone in the race. That's how the election works. Let's get final numbers before we have to sign out here. We're going to run out of time. I just sit here for hours. My monkey puppet and I would be happy to summon any local spirits for you. Ken Pratt, or the people from the Dickens Opera House, they're right down the block, I think. Looks like for mayor, Al Green's got 13%, Joan Peck's got 59%. That's damn near 60%. Terry Goon's got 26%. Sean McCoy is for mayor, city council at large. He's looking at 48% of the vote right now. The other candidates, Al Schuler is 29%, and Venturella, I keep going back and forth on how I pronounce his name. Venturella, I think is probably what it is. 28% of the vote that nice person has. They're working really hard to have a shitty job. I'll never really understand it. They should want my job. It's way easier, and you show up every once in a while. That's how often I tell my parents that I do drugs, every once in a while. It's once for every while. Ward 1, Wasenick, has got 28% of the vote. Christ is carrying 43% right now. Harrison Earl's got 28%. These things could level out. Gallegos for Ward 3 is holding 17%. Gary Hodges, 36.83%. Susie Hidalgo Faring, of course, is got 40.49%. Spencer Adams up to 5.10%. Now, Gary Hodges and Susie here are our closest race. And here's why here is a little note. Longmont's not that big a town. And your vote actually does matter. Because if you look here, 2,600 versus 2,800 is how close that race is. That's really, really close. And that means that undeniably, when you vote, it really does matter in Longmont. At the national level, you can pretty much go fuck yourself. But at the local level, it does seem to still matter. As far as the ballot issues are concerned, they're all fucksville. So don't worry about that. Thank you very much for tuning in today. What did we learn? Pierre, did we learn anything tonight?
I think we learned a lot.
Did we learn a lot?
Mm-hmm.
Someone learned a lot. I feel like it went medium well, which is the worst way to get a steak. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that it was fun to sort of, get to meet some folks and talk about some local issues. I'm sure we'll be back another time. Be sure to come on down to Longmont Public Media. You can find them on YouTube, you can find them on Facebook. More importantly, you can find them down here in the main heart of Longmont on 4th Street. And frankly, what you should do is give them money. I'm not gonna, preach all day about it, but honestly, what are you doing with your money? You're not like helping some kid make their passion project movie, or you're not helping somebody start a podcast or whatever, but you could do all of those things through Longmont Public Media. If you'd like to help your community express itself, if you'd like to help your community have the tools that they need to live up to their potential, it's tough times for artists, and they can't afford the tools they need a lot of times. And a lot of communities really can't afford very many tools, but they still have worthy things inside them. That's what Longmont Public Media is all about. We're here, we are very interested in helping you exhibit the beauty and creativity that's inside you. That is what all the effort around here goes toward. That's why we work with them. We're doing a noble project. I hope you'll come around. You could be a member. I think it's a monthly fee. It's a very reasonable fee. And with the membership, you can rent time in the studio, you can take classes, you can use equipment, you can check out equipment. Our friend Sergio in the other room is the executive director here, and he does a great job making sure that everybody has an opportunity. So if you feel like you care about your town and you care about the even disenfranchised communities that ought to be able to have an artistic voice with proper tools, our city's doing that. That's what this is. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll find your way to support the company. Why don't you give us a little playing out music there, Pierre? Thank you very much for watching Longmont Public Media. It's your only media source in Longmont, other than you and your phone streaming whenever all the time. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for Pierre as well. My God. And honor and a privilege. Thank you.